Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we're going to talk about if it's worth it to spend money on a nice office. So my theory on this, if you asked me a couple years ago, I'd have been like, screw that, it's all about remote. I've always worked well in remote, office is a waste of money. And that's kind of the argument that people make when they make the argument on remote versus an office culture, right? It's like, oh, you get to save money and you can hire more people. Well, here's the thing. What I've learned is in a collaborative environment, like an agency, for example, it's really helpful to have people in the same environment, just talking through ideas, because that collaboration helps a lot, right? So right now, I mean, we are in the process of moving over to a new office in downtown LA. But the people on the LA team over here, it's just we've been working at this co-working space where we have 3 offices, and we pay a hefty amount of change a month. So I think it's close to $11,000, and we have 3 little offices, right? So that's each one's like maybe, I don't know, 200, 300 square feet or so.
But they're nice. They look nice.
They look nice, but the new one that we're moving into, that's 3,200 square feet, right? So yes, a good portion of our team's still remote, but like the new one that we're moving into, we get to create our own culture, and we get to have our own furniture, all that kind of good stuff with the conference rooms, all the kind of good stuff, right? And what I've learned in the past, when I've looked at other companies too, when people built nice offices, they spent millions and millions of dollars on offices, is that offices are really good for recruiting. It's really good to bring your clients into, and it makes people happy too at the end of the day to have this home. Because here's the thing, we have people, even though we come into the office 3 days a week, there's still people that come in every single day, and it's good to create that kind of home environment for them. And even the new office that we're planning to move into, well, that is going to be basically the same cost. And to me, it's a no-brainer. If you're looking to build a culture, this is exactly from the WeWork CEO. He says, when it's time for you to build a culture, that's when you look at building out your own space or moving into your own space.
Yes, but the question is do you need a nice office?
Yeah, I think so. Because if you put people in a crappy work environment, it's like going into like a crappy home. It's just the feeling to me, and this is gut feeling, right? The feeling to me is just like, man, like I don't really want to go there. Like, this is not a nice place to call home. It's just not a good feeling.
I think it's a waste to spend money on a nice office.
But aren't you moving into a nice office?
Yes, because that's my business partner picked it.
Oh yeah, see, so you are.
Yeah, but if it's up to me, I wouldn't care for a nice office. I believe offices are good and they have their purpose. If you're an ad agency like you are, we also own an ad agency, it makes sense to have a nice office because customers end up coming there. It looks good, it's presentable. But in general, I wouldn't do it. I'd rather take that money, save some of it, have a mediocre looking office with cheap desks and nice chairs. I still want people to be comfortable, but spend the extra money on things like food for everyone every single day so they don't have to pay for their own lunches, or other community related activities that helps build the culture.
But you can do both, right?
If you have the money. If you don't have the money, then it gets a bit tough. And especially during the early stages, I don't recommend spending a lot of money on a nice office. Only when you're profitable, you're growing, and you don't necessarily know what to do with the money, by all means, go get a nice office, go spend money on the lunches, the culture, and all that kind of stuff. I do think it's necessary to spend money on the culture from day one, but the nice office, it's just a plus. I don't think you need it.
Yeah, so Neil and I talked about the concept, or we talked about the subject was on lavish expenses, and the office is certainly one of them. And I think it also depends on the business that you're in, right? So Neil and I, so in an agency kind of creative environment, I think it's helpful to have a nice place because your clients are going to be meeting, and it's just helpful to have that kind of what should we call it? It's not a personification, it's a perception, we should say. Perception is everything, right? Because perception is reality at the end of the day. Now, if you're in an engineering-focused environment, now I know friends that have really nice offices, but their engineering office is just completely somewhere else, sometimes completely somewhere else in the world. It's not exactly the nicest office, right? So, coming back to this, I think it also depends on the business that you're in. It just so happens that one of the businesses that Neil and I run, the type of business is the type that warrants a nice office.
Well, do you have a 3-year lease on your nice office?
The next one, yes.
Yeah, that's too long, dude. I can't sign those.
Bring it down
leases.
From 5 to 3. It's tough in LA.
It doesn't matter where you are. I can say it's tough in San Diego or San Francisco. I only do sublets. That's one of the reasons why we have a nicer office.
We might actually do that.
Yeah, you should only do it. Don't sign the 3-year. Did you already sign it?
We didn't sign it yet. So see,
Don't
I
sign
got
it at
value
all.
from this podcast.
I only do sublets. I don't like doing more than 1 year because when you're growing, you don't know where you're going to be in the long run. So make sure you're in your office or you have the commitment for the least amount of period. I don't like more than 1 year leases. We did in San Diego, we did WeWork. We lasted there for 6 months. Then we sublet one of our friends' office, Tony. He used to run an affiliate company. Gave us all the furniture and everything like that. And within 3 months, we outgrew it, but our sublet was for 6 months. And now we have another one. I only wanted to do 1 year max. We couldn't find one that the team liked that had a 1 year sublet. They found one that was like 1 year and 3 or 4 months, and it was decent size, but only stick to 1 year if you can help it. It's too risky to lock yourself into like 4, 5 year, or even 3 year leases.
Yeah, and just keep in mind too, in a lot of cases, so sometimes assuming the landlord is not an a-hole, you will have the opportunity to grow into other kind of offices that are under their portfolio, so it could be in the same building or somewhere else. You do have that option, but ideally, what Neil's mentioning, ideally if you're subletting, or if you can sign a 1 year lease, that's in your best interest. And then also, finally, last but not least, consider that if the industry that you're in does not warrant a nice office, where can you reallocate those cost savings to help grow you even further? So that's it for today. But before we go, check out singlegrain.com/giveaway for the giveaways stuff that we're always changing from time to time. So see you tomorrow.